I'm here at New Wine, and I love New Wine. It's amazing to be somewhere where thousands of people from all over the country gather to learn more about God and praise Him together. And so as we're filming this, people will be in various seminars. Some will be learning the latest ideas about leadership, others some new strategies for reaching out to their communities. Still more will be maybe learning some fresh thinking about working with children and young people. And I really enjoy those opportunities to learn new things and to have my thinking challenged. And yet so often what impacts me the most isn't the new things that I learn, but rather the same old truths that somehow take root that little bit deeper. This was particularly the case when earlier on in the summer I had the privilege of going on a college trip to Israel. Israel is an incredible place to visit. For a start, rather than 4 seasons in a day England, in Israel, particularly at the time of year that we went, you are guaranteed sunshine, blue sky and not a cloud in sight. And it's also stunning, the different places that we went to. But more importantly, I also found it really moving from a faith perspective. To visit the places where Jesus walked and talked and met with people, I found a really profound experience. So we went to Bethlehem, where Jesus was born. We were able to look out on the hills where those shepherds would have been on that night when the angels revealed themselves to the shepherds and told them about Jesus' birth. We went up to Galilee where Jesus did so much of his ministry. We were able to sit on a boat on the Sea of Galilee and listen to the story of Jesus walking on the waters and calming the storm being read to us. We also went down to Jerusalem, and that was particularly moving to see the places to do with those most painful moments of Jesus' life. So we went to the Mount of Olives, where you can look out over the whole of Jerusalem. And as I was on the Mount of Olives, I just got this really amazing sense of Jesus being up there and looking over Jerusalem, knowing all that he was going to suffer, knowing that he was going to be betrayed even by those closest to him. If it was me, I'd have been tempted just to turn around and go back up to north to Galilee, where, yeah, there were problems, but it wasn't as painful as it was going to be in Jerusalem. And it really struck me, that commitment that Jesus had to his mission, the commitment he had to the salvation of his creation, that he continued to go down the hill knowing everything that he'd face. We saw the Garden of Gethsemane, we saw the Garden Tomb. And in all of these places, there were loads of new things that I learnt. And yet it wasn't the new things that I learnt that stood out to me the most. Rather, it was the same old truths, the ancient truths of Jesus' life, his ministry, his compassion for people, and the amazing sacrifice of his death on the cross, the amazing victory of his resurrection back to life. Those same old truths, those ancient truths, they were the things that impacted me and changed me the most. Now, I don't say any of that to put anybody off learning new things. I love theology, I love studying theology, I love teaching theology. And it's really important that we work hard to increase our knowledge. It's a bit like when you go to the beach and you really want to dig a really deep hole. I know you do that all the time. Well, I used to when I was a kid, I used to love that. And if you just go straight down, you can only go so far before you find the walls start caving in. And you've got to dig wider before you can go deeper. It's like that with theology. Often we need breadth in order to get depth. So really the point I'm making is that as we are learning and growing and finding out new and better ways to do things, different strategies and increasing our knowledge, it's so important that we keep our eyes focused on the core truths, the most important things, those ancient truths of Jesus' life, his death, his resurrection, of who he is and all that he's done for us.